Aquarius, stop scrolling for just a moment because August 1st and August 2nd are unlike any ordinary weekend you've experienced this year. If this message has found you, it may be because the universe has been trying to reach you in quieter ways for weeks, but now it no longer wants to whisper. It wants your full attention. Something beneath the surface of your life has already started shifting, even if your eyes cannot see it yet. Maybe you've been feeling unusually restless, waking up with thoughts you can't explain, noticing strange coincidences, or sensing that the version of yourself you've been carrying for so long no longer fits. That feeling is real. It isn't anxiety. It isn't your imagination. It's the beginning of a transition that astrologers have been watching build quietly in the sky, and these next 48 hours could become the turning point you remember for the rest of the year. Stay with me until the very end, because the final message, hidden within August 2nd, carries the strongest energy of all. And for many Aquarius natives, it may become the moment everything finally starts making sense. Before we go any deeper, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave the words, "I receive what is meant for me," in the comments below. Sometimes the smallest act of intention reminds us to stay open to blessings we almost overlooked. Now, let's begin. For the last several months, many of you have quietly asked yourselves the same difficult question. Why does it feel like life has been asking so much from me while giving so little back? You've worked harder than people realize. You've carried burdens you rarely talk about. Aquarius has never been the sign that complains loudly. Instead, you carry your worries inside your own mind, convincing yourself that eventually things will improve if you simply keep moving forward. But somewhere along the journey, you may have started wondering whether the universe had forgotten about you altogether. Delays became normal. Opportunities disappeared without explanation. People you trusted slowly drifted away. Plans that once filled you with excitement suddenly felt heavy, confusing, or strangely blocked. It would have been easy to believe none of it had meaning. Yet astrology often teaches us something very different. The longest delays frequently happen just before the largest shifts, because timing matters as much as effort. The universe isn't only interested in giving you what you want, it's interested in giving it to you when you're actually ready to keep it. That brings us to August 1st. On this day, Venus leaves Leo and enters Virgo, changing the emotional atmosphere in a subtle but powerful way. Venus is often described as the planet of love, beauty, harmony, and abundance, but its influence reaches far beyond romance. It governs value. It asks an important question: what deserves your energy? As Venus moves into Virgo, the answers become clearer. Suddenly, situations you've been confused about begin making sense. Relationships that once seemed complicated reveal their true foundation. Financial opportunities become easier to recognize because distractions begin falling away. This is not flashy energy, it is quiet wisdom. It rewards patience instead of impulse. It encourages meaningful progress instead of temporary excitement. For Aquarius, whose mind constantly races toward the future, this transit acts almost like a compass, helping you distinguish between what simply looks attractive and what actually supports the life you're trying to build. At the very same time, the moon travels through Pisces, one of the most intuitive and emotionally sensitive signs of the zodiac. This creates an unusual balance between practical decisions and spiritual awareness. Imagine standing at the edge of a river where logic and intuition finally begin flowing in the same direction instead of pulling against one another. That's the energy surrounding these 2 days. One part of you wants measurable answers, while another part quietly senses truths that cannot yet be explained. Together, they create an atmosphere where hidden messages become impossible to ignore. Don't be surprised if dreams become unusually vivid. Don't dismiss the feeling that you should call someone, revisit an old idea, or take a different route than usual. Under this Pisces moon, intuition often speaks before circumstances catch up. Now here's what makes this especially important for Aquarius. Your ruling planet Uranus has always been associated with breakthroughs that appear without warning. Most people think sudden success comes out of nowhere, but astrology tells a different story. Uranus rarely creates miracles instantly. Instead, it spends weeks or months rearranging invisible pieces behind the scenes until everything finally aligns at exactly the right moment. That means if you've recently experienced silence, delays, or uncertainty, those experiences may not have been empty at all. They may have been preparation. Think of an artist standing behind a curtain, carefully finishing the final details before revealing the masterpiece. From the audience's perspective, nothing appears to be happening, but behind the curtain, everything is changing. Aquarius, your life has been behind that curtain. August 1st doesn't necessarily reveal the entire picture, but it begins pulling the curtain back. One of the biggest mistakes people make during powerful astrological shifts is expecting dramatic signs while overlooking quiet miracles. Many blessings don't arrive wrapped in fireworks. They arrive disguised as ordinary conversations, unexpected invitations, random encounters, or opportunities that seem too small to matter. Yet those tiny moments often become the first domino in a chain reaction that changes everything. Someone may mention your name in a room you've never entered. A message you've almost ignored could contain the opportunity you've waited months to receive. A simple decision made this weekend may quietly redirect the rest of your year. That's why awareness matters so much right now. The universe rarely forces blessings into your hands. More often, it places them within reach and waits to see whether you're paying attention. There's another reason these 2 days feel so significant. Aquarius is known as the visionary of the Zodiac. You naturally think years ahead while many people think only about tomorrow. This gift allows you to see possibilities long before they become reality, yet it also creates a challenge. When life slows down, your brilliant mind often begins questioning itself. You wonder whether you've chosen the wrong path, whether your dreams are unrealistic, whether your timing has passed. During August 1st and 2nd, the cosmos gently interrupts that pattern. Instead of asking you to chase every possibility, it asks you to trust the direction that's already been unfolding. Not every closed door was rejection. Some were simply protection. Not every goodbye was a loss. Some were necessary space for better connections to enter. Not every delay was failure. Some were the universe quietly making sure the foundation beneath your future would actually support everything you've been praying for. As the hours move toward August 2nd, this energy grows even stronger. The emotional clarity brought by the Pisces moon begins revealing what your logical mind couldn't fully understand before. You may suddenly recognize why a relationship ended exactly when it did, why certain opportunities never worked out, why people who once seemed essential slowly disappeared from your journey. Hindsight becomes one of your greatest teachers during these 2 days. The puzzle pieces that looked completely unrelated begin fitting together in ways that almost feel impossible. That's one of the hidden gifts of this weekend. It doesn't just change external circumstances, it changes your perspective. And sometimes, a new perspective becomes the greatest breakthrough of all. But here's the part almost nobody expects. While everyone else is looking for signs in the sky, your biggest confirmation may arrive through another person. Someone whose words seem strangely timed. Someone who unknowingly says exactly what your heart needed to hear. Or perhaps someone from your past suddenly returns, not necessarily to stay forever, but to complete something that was left unfinished. These encounters aren't random. Under the influence of Venus in Virgo and the intuitive Pisces moon, relationships become mirrors. They show you how much you've grown, how much you've healed, and what you're finally ready to receive. The question isn't whether signs will appear. The question is whether you'll recognize them before they quietly pass by. And that leads us to the first hidden blessing waiting inside August 1st and 2nd. Because what begins as one ordinary opportunity could quickly become the breakthrough you've been waiting for without even realizing it. Aquarius, the first blessing hidden within August 1st and August 2nd, isn't arriving the way most people expect. It isn't about instant riches falling from the sky or every problem disappearing overnight. The universe rarely works that way. Instead, it changes one important piece of your life, knowing that everything else will eventually follow. That's why these next 2 days carry such extraordinary significance. They are designed to reposition you, not simply reward you. And once you're standing in the right place, opportunities that once seemed impossible begin finding you naturally. Think about the past few months. How many times did you almost give up on something that truly mattered to you? How many nights did you lie awake wondering whether your effort was leading anywhere at all? Aquarius, you've been asking for a breakthrough, but the universe has been preparing transformation first. those are not the same thing. Anyone can receive a sudden opportunity, but only someone who has grown through uncertainty can actually sustain it. The delays you experienced weren't empty spaces. They were classrooms. Every disappointment was quietly teaching you discernment. Every closed door was strengthening your patience. Every unexpected ending was creating room for something far more aligned with the person you're becoming. Now, as Venus settles into Virgo, those lessons begin producing visible results. One of the greatest gifts of this Venus transit is that it strips away illusion. Suddenly, things become easier to evaluate. You'll notice that people who once seemed trustworthy reveal different intentions. At the same time, individuals you've overlooked may unexpectedly become your strongest supporters. This isn't coincidence. It's clarity. Aquarius often sees the potential in everyone, sometimes holding onto relationships long after they've stopped serving your highest good. During August 1st and 2nd, the universe gently removes that emotional fog. You'll begin recognizing who genuinely celebrates your growth and who only appreciated you when you stayed small. That realization may feel bittersweet at first, but don't mistake it for loss. Sometimes the greatest blessing isn't gaining someone new. It's finally understanding who was never meant to continue walking beside you. As this awareness grows, another powerful shift begins taking place within your own heart. You stop chasing validation. Think about how much energy you've spent trying to explain yourself to people who had already decided not to understand you. How often have you questioned your own intuition simply because someone else couldn't see your vision? Aquarius, your future was never meant to be built upon other people's approval. Your uniqueness has always been your greatest strength, even during the seasons when it felt like your biggest burden. This weekend reminds you that the qualities which once made you feel misunderstood are the same qualities that will eventually open extraordinary doors. Your originality isn't a flaw. Your different perspective isn't a mistake. It's the very reason opportunities meant specifically for you can never truly belong to anyone else. Now pay close attention, because this next part may describe exactly what's happening in your life. Under the intuitive influence of the Pisces moon, many Aquarius natives will experience an unusual pull towards something they almost abandoned. It could be a creative idea you stopped working on months ago, a career goal you convinced yourself was unrealistic, a conversation you never finished, or perhaps a dream that felt too impossible after facing repeated setbacks. Suddenly, without any logical explanation, that dream begins calling your attention again. Don't ignore it. Sometimes the universe doesn't create entirely new paths. Sometimes it breathes new life into the path you left behind, because now you're finally prepared to walk it with greater wisdom than before. This is where many people become impatient. They expect immediate proof. They want visible confirmation that something extraordinary is happening. But astrology often teaches that the strongest shifts begin internally before they appear externally. Imagine planting a seed beneath the soil. For days, maybe even weeks, nothing appears to change on the surface. Yet underground, roots are spreading in every direction, quietly creating the foundation necessary for future growth. If someone judged the seed only by what they could see above ground, they'd assume nothing was happening. But nature understands something humanity often forgets. Invisible growth is still growth. Aquarius, your life has been developing beneath the surface for much longer than you realize. August 1st and 2nd don't create your transformation. They reveal that it has already begun. And then something interesting starts happening. Conversations feel different. Coincidences become harder to dismiss. You might repeatedly hear the same advice from completely unrelated people. You may notice one particular word, symbol, or number appearing over and over again throughout your day. Some will brush these moments aside as random chance, but those who pay attention often discover that the universe communicates through repetition. It gently places breadcrumbs along your path, inviting you to trust what your intuition already knows before your circumstances fully confirm it. Aquarius, your intuition is especially heightened now. If something feels deeply right, don't talk yourself out of it simply because the outcome isn't guaranteed. Every meaningful journey begins before certainty exists. There's also a financial message woven into these 2 days. Venus entering Virgo encourages practical abundance rather than temporary excitement. This doesn't necessarily mean winning something overnight. Instead, it favors opportunities built upon consistency, intelligence, preparation, and careful decisions. Many Aquarius natives may receive an idea, invitation, or connection that appears surprisingly ordinary at first glance. Yet within that simple opportunity lies the potential for remarkable long-term growth. This is why the universe asks you not to judge blessings by their first appearance. Great opportunities rarely announce themselves as miracles. They usually arrive dressed as small responsibilities, quiet beginnings, or conversations almost everyone else would overlook. But the story doesn't end there, because as August 2nd unfolds, another hidden layer of this cosmic energy begins revealing itself, one that directly affects your future relationships, your confidence, and a decision that could completely change the direction of the months ahead. Aquarius, as August 2nd continues unfolding, you may begin noticing something that initially seems impossible to explain. The same situations that once drained your energy no longer affect you the way they used to. Conversations that previously created anxiety suddenly lose their emotional weight. People whose opinions once controlled your decisions seem to have less influence over your heart. This isn't because they've changed. It's because you have. One of the greatest transformations taking place during these 2 days isn't happening around you, it's happening within you. And that inner shift is exactly what prepares you for the next chapter the universe has been patiently arranging behind the scenes. For a long time, you believed you needed the perfect opportunity before your life could change. But these planetary energies reveal a different truth. Your life begins changing the moment you stop waiting for permission to become the person you've always known you could be. Venus in Virgo reminds you that true abundance isn't built on wishful thinking. It's built on quiet confidence, wise decisions, and consistent action. The Pisces moon, meanwhile, softens your fears and reconnects you with your intuition, allowing you to recognize blessings that were always nearby, but hidden beneath doubt and distraction. You may also discover that someone who once underestimated you suddenly begins noticing your growth. This doesn't mean every old relationship will return, nor does it guarantee every unfinished chapter will reopen. Instead, it symbolizes something much more important. Your energy is changing, and people naturally respond differently when your energy changes. The respect, appreciation, and recognition you've been seeking don't come because you forced anyone to see your value. They come because you've finally started seeing it yourself. Confidence has a quiet magnetic quality that cannot be imitated, and over these next 48 hours, many Aquarius natives will begin carrying that energy without even realizing it. If you've been worried about your career, finances, or future direction, this weekend also carries an encouraging message. Progress may not arrive through one dramatic event, but through a series of small decisions that gradually create extraordinary results. Don't overlook the simple opportunity because you're waiting for the spectacular one. Many successful journeys begin with one email, one conversation, one application, one introduction, or one brave decision to try again. The universe often rewards movement before certainty. You don't need to see the entire staircase before taking the first step. You only need enough faith to climb the next one. Spiritually, August 1st and 2nd are also asking you to release something you've been carrying for far too long. It may be guilt over a past mistake, regret about an opportunity you missed, anger towards someone who hurt you, or fear that your best years are already behind you. None of those burdens belong in the future that's opening before you. They served their purpose by teaching you valuable lessons, but now they have become unnecessary weight. Imagine trying to climb a mountain while refusing to set down a heavy backpack filled with stones. The higher you climb, the heavier it feels. The universe isn't asking you to forget your past. It's asking you to stop allowing it to define your future. Over the next few days, pay attention to moments that seem strangely timed. A random conversation, an unexpected invitation, a dream that feels more vivid than usual, a familiar song playing at exactly the right moment, a repeated number catching your eye. None of these moments alone prove anything, but together they remind you to remain aware. Sometimes life changes gradually. Other times it changes because you finally notice what has been quietly guiding you all along. Aquarius, if you've watched this far, perhaps this message arrived exactly when you needed it. Not because it predicts every detail of your future, but because it reminds you that your future is not fixed by your past. The energy of August 1st and August 2nd encourages reflection, clearer priorities, practical action, and trust in your own intuition. Whether the next opportunity appears through work, relationships, creativity, or a personal decision, your response will matter more than the timing itself. Stay open, stay grounded, and pay attention to the choices you make over these 2 days. Sometimes a single decision made during a meaningful moment becomes the beginning of an entirely new chapter. If this message resonated with you, let me know by commenting, "I am ready for my next chapter." I'd love to hear what signs or coincidences you've been noticing recently. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more astrology updates, and share it with another Aquarius who may need this encouragement today. Remember, no transit guarantees a specific outcome, but these moments can be a valuable reminder to reflect, act with intention, and stay open to new possibilities. Until next time, take care of yourself, trust your journey, and keep looking forward. The next chapter may be closer than you think.